Welcome to Review from the Opposition. With Henry Morgan, we're talking to two different people. First of all, getting the thoughts of Billy the Bee, aka Billy Grant. And then we're going to be listening to the thoughts of Tom Jordan from the AFCB podcast. So firstly, looking back on our goalless draw with Brentford on Saturday, a point well earned in my book. All right, welcome to the show, Billy.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I think probably, well, actually, definitely, I think the goalless draw was a lot better result for us than it was for you. Mate, what were your thoughts on the game, first of all?
Well, I've got to make the comment, actually, and thanks for inviting me on again. Like I said to you, the Millwall posse out there.
Mate. Great to have you, mate.
Thank you. It was, to be quite honest with you, the nil-all draw, I mean, nil-all draws are normally never the best. And obviously Brentford needed to win. Well, they didn't need to win, but it's very important to win, especially after Watford losing.
Yes.
And Swansea almost losing, the cheats as we call them. Swansea almost losing as well, but them drawing as well. And if we'd won that game, it would have really, really kind of put us into a position to put them into pressure. But I have to say that going down the pub, and I went down the pub, which is the Globe, which is the pub that we drink in, and it was in the sunshine, and it was full of Brentford fans, and I have to admit, I had a brilliant time. It was like a return to normality, and even though the match was dire, I wasn't sitting on the sofa talking to my 12-year-old daughter, who I do love. I mean, she was with me in the pub anyway, you know, and sitting down there kind of over-analysing the game. And then when the game finishes, you walk off and go and get a cup of tea in the kitchen next door. We were actually there, and we were in, the game finished at 2:30 and we were still going at 5:30 and 6:30, and I had to take myself home at 8:30, and I was in bed by 9:30, to be quite honest with you. You know, so it's one of those ones. So what I'm saying is that, you know, for everyone out there, we are sort of, it looks like coming back to normality. And this game, the fact that this game actually looked all right means that we're getting our football kind of rose-tinted glasses back on. Yeah. So that's what it was to me. At the end of the day, look, you know, Millwall, obviously they knew what we were going to do. We talked about our change of formation last week, moving to, you know, the three at the back, you know, 3-5-2, and we said whether or not we're going to do the same thing at Millwall. The fear that we had was that Gary Rowett would have a look at that and say, right, tell you something, this is going to be our plan to combat that, because obviously Preston had no plan because they had no idea that we were going to do it. Yeah. And so it was a little bit of a sort of a comeuppance for Brentford, because again, I think we've got the situation where if things don't go according to plan for us, we're really worried that we haven't got, you know, not to haven't got the players, but we can't necessarily all the time have somebody who just pulls one out the bag. Last year it was Ben Rama, you know, and then obviously Josh De Silva as well. You know, Ollie Watkins could do what he did. You know, we had quite a few players that pull one out the bag where if, you know, a team decided to play against us in a particular way, we'll do it. And Brentford hate Gary Rowett.
Yes.
Not as a person. We hate him because every time we come against a Rowett team, he always does us. When he was at Birmingham, he did us. You know, we'd be all over a Rowett team. Then boom, 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 he'll score and they'll beat us. Same thing at Derby. Same thing at Stoke. I said this, I think, on the previous podcast. He always does us. And he didn't get the win this time, but still, he managed to. They managed to do us, and it is quite frustrating that we weren't able to pull it out the bag. No, we weren't good enough. No, we had players who were off form. You know, we've got players like Jensen who 1 minute he's brilliant and the next minute he's kind of like, you know, just indifferent. And when you've got these players who play like that, that's just, I think it's really difficult for you to actually kind of get yourself into a real swing. So look, listen, the result didn't go our way. I think the best thing I can say about that is at least we didn't draw. At least we didn't lose, sorry. We drew, but at least we didn't lose. So we're still in the game. We have to really win all our matches between now and the end of the season. On the way that we're playing now, we won't win all our matches at the end of the season. But with Brentford, I'll be honest with you, you just never know.
Never know, like last season. What do you think was the best move of the game, Brentford's best move of the game?
Undoubtedly, the best move and the one that we should have scored the goal was when Marcus Forss actually was played in and in front of goal. Well, he said played in, actually. He took on your defender. He did really well, actually, down the right wing.
Yes.
That's right. He came in, cut in, and then he was in front of goal. And listen, Marcus Forss, you know, I was told by, you know, the coaching staff, he is the best finisher in the club. That was before Ivan Toney joined anyway, you know, and this is at the time when Ollie Watkins was there. They said Marcus Forss, who is a B team player, he is the best finisher in the club. We're just trying to get him up to speed. And you put him in that position, and 9 times out of 10, he would have scored a goal. And talking about stats, as you know, at Brentford, we love our stats, and we throw the stats into the middle. And that chance was actually from an XG level, which some people hate, but it was 0.37, which means that 37 out of 100 times, which has been recorded in history, in that position, that goal has gone in the back of the net. So it's not like you're making it up out the air. They actually record these chances and see, right, how many times had this gone in? So basically nearly 40% of the times, 4 times out of 10, that's gone in the back of the net. So that was actually a big chance, and we really should have scored that. And a player like Marcus Forss, you know, who that is kind of is his bread and butter, he should have really scored that. So unfortunately, and that didn't go to plan, I suppose you could say that the writing was on the wall for the Beast.
What was either the best Millwall move of the game, something that impressed you, or a particular player that impressed you on the day, maybe?
Or Bielowski, he really annoys me just because I think he's a great goalkeeper from the Ipswich days all the way through. Yeah. And again, he's one of those people where you sort of think, are we going to get we're going to get through to him. Like, you know, your best chance of the game again was Sam Malone. Again, it was just actually before us, where it was one of those chances where all of a sudden, you know, Brentford fans thought, oh my God, here Scott we go Malone, again. Sorry, it was not Sam Malone, Scott Malone.
First
in the
5
first
minutes,
half.
yes.
It was actually in the 22nd minute, actually, as well. There was a chance because the one in the first 5 minutes as well. I think Wallace had one in the 16th minute, which was so. It was sort of kind of in the 6-yard box, but it was a so chance. And Sam Malone had one 4 minutes actually, also in the 6-yard box. But the chance itself actually was quite a difficult chance. But the one that he had on the 22nd minute actually was actually a really big chance, I think. And again, from an XG level, that was 0.32, which is 32. About a third of those normally go in the back of the net. And that was one where there was a big, sharp intake of breath in the boozer, you know, as we watched that one not go in. And what I'd say is that type of chance is the one where with Brentford fans will say that is typical because it would have gone in. We would have lost that game 1-0 and we'd been really frustrated. And so, like I said to you again, for me, this is the game where I talked about the fact we lost a quarter of our games 1-0 last season. We probably actually would have lost this game 1-0 last season, but we got the draw, and that's why I'm sort of reasonably upbeat about it. But to be fair, Millwall, they did really well. They played a really good game. They kept going at it, and they made it really tough for us, and we couldn't get the 3 points. And didn't notice the official, which is a way that things are going all right.
Brilliant. Billy, thank you so much for coming back and talking to us. We wish you all the best in what looks like now probably the playoffs. Good luck with that tumultuous journey. We obviously have got Bournemouth coming up next, so we welcome them to the Den on Wednesday evening, and that I think is probably another bit of a test. And then of course we got Watford on the following Saturday. So
But all I'm going to say to you is good luck for the rest of the season, and particularly in that Bournemouth and the Watford game. I hope you do. I hope you score about 50 goals across those 2 matches.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Now we're going to talk to Tom Jordan from the AFCB podcast about Bournemouth's trip to the Den this Wednesday evening. Tom, welcome to the show.
Hello, mate. Thanks for having me on.
No problem at all. Obviously, last time we spoke, the game was postponed for COVID, so hopefully that doesn't happen again this time.
Yeah, let's hope not.
So coming into this game, it looks to me like Bournemouth are in a massive run of form, you know, sort of beating the potential champions of the league 3-1 at Carroll Road in your last fixture. How's Bournemouth's season been this year? I think there might be a few of our listeners, actually, from a Millwall perspective, that are slightly surprised that maybe you're not pushing for an automatic promotion, but I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I mean, we obviously lost some players, but
yes.
On paper, the squad is very good, one of the best in the division. So, yeah, we're a little bit underwhelmed, but we're hitting form at a good time, I suppose. We've won the last 6. So, if it looks like it's going to be playoffs for us, I think we could actually secure it against you guys if we win and Reading lose. But, automatics would be very surprising now. I think we're about 8 points off. But, we would have liked automatics, but if you're going to go into them playoffs, it's good to end the season well, which is what we're doing at the moment. It's been an up and down season. I mean, to put it in black and white, you mentioned the Norwich result there. They're probably going to win the league. We've taken 6 points off them this season, whereas we took 0 0 off Sheffield Wednesday. So
proper championship scores right there, illustrating
exactly
what I say every week, which is anyone can literally beat anyone in any game.
Definitely.
If you look at Wickham drawing at Swansea after Swansea beating us 3-0 and looking like one of the best teams in the division a week before. Who do you think Millwall need to be wary of at the moment? Who are your players that are really kicking your form up to currently top of the championship form table?
It'll be Arnaut Danjuma. Down that kind of plays off the left hand side.
Okay,
he's on absolute fire at the moment. I'm trying to actually think of his stat. I mean, he feels like he scores he scored. I don't know if you've seen it, but against Norwich, he scored an absolute worldie. He assists or scores virtually every game. I'm just looking now. Actually, scored against Norwich, scored 2 against Coventry the week before, scored against Blackburn, scored against Swansea, scored against so he's scoring virtually every game. He's on fire at the moment, honestly, and he's knocking on the door for a potential call up to Holland for the Euros, which is pretty impressive. But he's got 14 goals this season, kind of a winger, but just one of them players that just got so many skills in the locker and developed a nice partnership down that left-hand side with Lloyd Kelly. But yeah, like you said, we've picked up, and it's probably to do with having a few players back as well. I mean, against Norwich, for example, we had Junior Stanislas on the bench, Jack Wilshere on the bench. Didn't even bring Jack Wilshere on, for example, and Brooksy's back now, David Brooks, Dom Solanke's leading the line well, and Ben Pearson's been a really good signing for us that we got in January from Preston. So
I mean, those names in themselves prove my point, what I think I was saying to you around the Christmas time, which, you've definitely got one of the best squads on paper in the Championship. I mean, I'd say probably Norwich are only better. People do talk a lot about Brentford, but obviously Brentford have those players that are scouted from elsewhere and are brought through, mainly from Peterborough. I think Ivan Toney came from Peterborough, but I think look, I was looking at the sort of the market value roughly of your club of players, and it's about 112 million or something like that, which compared to Millwall is 30 million, and I'd question whether we'd get 30 million for some parts of our squad. But just on that note, is there anyone from the Millwall team that you think Jonathan Woodgate might be scratching his head and thinking, okay, how are we going to approach this individual? Or is there anyone that yourself, I think when we spoke last time, was it Scott Malone you hated, didn't want to see him?
Yeah, he's got a bad... Yeah, he's one of them that would have got booed if we were there, kind of thing. Whether we know in detail, he was with us when we had a lot of money troubles, kind of down in the lower leagues, I think it was League One, and he it was something to do with him kind of almost asking to leave when we were in a bit of trouble and we needed, some people to roll their sleeves up a little bit. So he just left on a bad note, really, which fans don't like. But I've always thought he's a decent player, to be fair to him. He's played in the Premier League since, hasn't he? But and I think the other one, Alex Pearce, centre half, done all right for you. We had him on loan. He was quite good for us. But
very good professional. I think a lot of Millwall fans would potentially say that he is losing a yard of plate and's been caught flat-footed a couple of times this season. But we have got, as I said on my little piece for your podcast, we have got injury problems at the back with Sean Hutchinson being out, so he might well factor.
Right, yeah. Percy was always quite a reliable head for us when we had him in on loan a while ago. But I don't know. It depends how you're going to set up, and I'm sure Woodgate would have looked at that. I mean, personally, I've always quite liked. I remember him when he was at Derby, Mason Bennett, and I think he's been doing okay for you.
Yes.
I've always quite liked him. Just when I've seen him, at Derby or yourselves, I've always thought he's quite nippy, he's quite quick. I'm surprised he kind of didn't, because I remember when he come on the scene at Derby, he was really young.
Yeah, 16, I think.
Yeah, and I you kind of thought now when he's kind of getting to his mid-20s, I thought he would have really kicked on. I don't know, but he's definitely a danger man, I would say. I've always liked him when I've seen him personally. But yeah, and then you've got the Icelandic striker, aren't you? I don't know if
That's right, John Daddy Bavardson, yeah.
Yes. I didn't want to try and attempt to say his name.
No, fair play.
No. And I don't know how... I haven't seen much, but is Conor Mahoney back fit? Because obviously you signed him from us, right? That's
right, yeah. He's looked very good, but he's been injured for a long time. He was on the bench against Brentford. He might be looking to get a start. It'd be exciting for us if he does get into the side and would give us an extra attacking dynamic that we haven't had this season.
Yeah, he's certainly a talent. I think we got him at the wrong time for him, really, where he had, like you say, with his injuries, and then because we were Premier League at the time, no, but he certainly is a talent if he can get himself fit again. It's just been injuries for him, isn't it? But Yeah, he's definitely a player that going forward for the next few seasons could be quite key for you. But I think when we played you last time, I mean, it's one of them games that we look at and think, we should have grinded that one out. We weren't great, but we should have got over the line. And I think it's, like you said, it's a potential banana skin game. I mean, not so long ago, I thought, could Millwall out of nowhere just be like one of them teams that just come from nowhere and nick the playoffs? But last few, it ain't quite happened for you. But yeah, certainly not a game that we think, well, that's a win in the bag. I think it's going to be a tough one, quite an organised side, and I think there'll just be the goal in it, quite a cagey affair. But hopefully,
well, on that note, what is your prediction for the game?
I'm probably I think it will just be the goal in it. I might go for a cagey 1-0 actually. I think it'll be one of them games where, after what happened last time as well, if we can get a lead, I think we'll play quite safe after that and just try and make sure that we keep that clean sheet and don't over commit and things like that, because we've been burnt with that in the past. So I'm gonna go for us to nick it 1-0, but it's certainly one of our more trickier games in the run-in, definitely.
All right, brilliant, perfect. Thanks, Tom. Look, best of luck in the playoffs as and when you're confirmed to be in them. It's a cutthroat thing that we've been through, obviously, a few times to get into this division. So it's amazing when it goes well. It's heartbreaking when it doesn't. So best of luck for all of that, fella.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it, and to you.